Hi friends, it's Linda. I am back with my latest journal. It is a lavender themed journal, lavender flower made from a vintage Reader's Digest book that just so happened to be purple. And I'm excited to show you this one. It was so much fun to work on. And let's get started. I'm going to show you the front cover. It was a labor of love. I did some embroidery there on just a scrap piece of vintage linen. And I made this trio of dangles. This is a little jar charm that actually has lavender seeds and bits of lavender flowers in it. A little dangle with a couple of colorful shells and a pearl. And I also beaded this little thing to try to make it look like a stem of lavender with crystal, little different shades of lavender, Swarovsky, that's such a hard word to say, Swarovsky crystals, and some bugle beads. And I just attached it to a little vintage crochet piece that I actually had to dye with a little bit of vanilla. Well, I just shook a little bit of liquid vanilla on there to give it, it was very bright white. And then the book I used the actual spine from the Reader's Digest condensed book. I did not change the spine because I found it to be, covering that with my hand, I found it to be just the right size. So I covered it with lace and put some fabric on either side, and then from the center signature, I created this beaded dangle that ends with this fabric wrapped bead, kind of a boho style bead that I added top and bottom beads to, added a little bit of trim, and that is the cover. It is has sari silk ties, and it has three, I'm sorry, I need to make sure I'm in frame here. I apologize. It has three sewn in signatures and metal corners. And let's get inside of this baby and take a look, see what's in there. Okay, so sari silk ties that I attached to some eyelets in front and back of the book. Oops, gotta love the sari silk. I hope that's not too close. Hold on while I just adjust you a little bit, and I apologize. I'm not very good at the adjustment part. Okay, hopefully you can still see. Sorry about that. In the front pocket is a lace. It's the same lace that's on the spine. There is a library card and an envelope, a handmade envelope that has a letter from me inside. And this envelope, the digital is from Pink Monarch Prints, her purple collage. And this is the actual inside cover paper of the Reader's Digest book. I just left it. I left the book, other than taking out the pages, the cover and the inside cover are intact, so that was nice. I just covered the inside of the spine also with some Tyvek. I did make a hidden spine to attach the book, or to attach the signatures, and that is attached with chipboard and Tyvek and fabric, and it's attached to the original spine of the book. So I hope that makes sense. This beautiful digital is from Louise Heinzel. It's her lavender, what's it called? Lavender Junk Journal Kit. Okay, and then I have, there's some Stamperia scrapbook paper that I've used throughout. And here I just made a strip collage from the different papers I used in the journal and just made it into a journal card. This is an old Project Life card. They sure come in handy for altering. They're just the right sizes. I have some of my own coffee dyed paper. This is a Woven Pockets. It's a 4-way tag. Gail Augustinelli designed this, and I just love it. I love to use it. And it's got 4 little tags that go into these little woven pockets. This was a piece of scrapbook paper that I had in my stash that matched. So there's 4 little tags there. I just have some baker's twine on there. And then at the end, I made the end up also a pocket, and I just attached an eyelet and some lace and put some lace here. Well, some oldie but goodie scrapbook paper. This is a belly band made from a sewing pattern, and this was in a kit that I got by, I think it's STL Finds by Lori, a junk journal kit that had just lots and lots of wonderful things in it. And this is some actual handmade paper made with lavender, and it smells like heaven. It smells like you put your nose into a lavender bush. Just beautiful. And I bought this also in a shop on Etsy that I will link in my description box. I added a little graphic here and some buttons. This is from this is a free printable lavender labels and stickers from the Graphics Fairy on the graphicsfairy.com. And I did some sewing in on the pages, some of the pages in this book, which I don't always do. This is a page from a vintage gardening book, and it's actually the lavender plant page, which is great. Some vintage music paper. This is some paper that I, just last week, I dyed using red beets, and I love red beets, and I just steam them. And I used the water at the bottom of my steaming pan, and I was going to put it down the drain, and I thought, nope. So I grabbed my big foil paper dyeing pan and poured it in there and added a little bit more water and dyed some paper in it, and it turned out great. I love it. It's kind of pink. It has a little bit of a purplish tinge to it, so it just went well in this journal. Here's a little bit of more coffee dyed paper, the Stamperia paper. This is the center of the first signature, and I added some beads to the ties, and this is also that Stamperia paper, and it's got lavender flowers on it. It was serendipitous. This is actually from my sister's stash. As I was making this journal, I thought, I need more purple paper. I thought, I don't craft with a lot of purple, so I didn't have a lot. So I, of course, called my sister, knowing she crafts probably with a little more purple than I do. And I'm like, do you have any purple paper that I could have for my journal? And she came up with the absolute perfect pieces. So with the help, some help from my big sis. She's so supportive of me in my journal making and my new little YouTube channel, which is fantastic. So this is the other side of that gardening book page that I sewed. This is more of Louise Heinzel's beautiful digital pocket and a tag. And this little page here this is Louise Heinzel's digital over some scrapbook paper, and this is my little signature tea bag that I try to add to each of my journals. And the type of tea in here is a Bigelow Lavender Chamomile Tea. Okay. More of my coffee dye. This is part of Louise Heinzel's cute digital, and I added just a little bit of a little pixie or a fairy there in the corner of that jar. And here is a fabric ruffle. This is in between the signatures. I used Louise Heinzel's digital for the first page of the signatures. They're so pretty. Okay, and then another of the, this is a journal card that I created just by collaging strips of the papers that I used. Kind of similar to the first one, but a little different that I showed you from the first signature. This pocket is a pocket from the Purple Collage kit from Pink Monarch Prints. Here's an Edith Holden page. It's not an original page, it's a reproduction page that I got from a book on Amazon that had reproduction Edith Holden pages that you can use in your journals. And some more of my sister's stash of purple scrapbook papers. This is a fun little bag. I learned this technique from Gail Augustinelli, and it's just a bag that I covered the flap here with, or the bottom of the bag with a piece of Kathy Holden fabric, and I attached it to the page. And I made this little card. I used a coin envelope, and I just pressed some of the real lavender flowers and seeds inside of it and put it on this tag. I think it looks really pretty. And I just made a little topper for the tag out of a tiny bit of the stamp fabric from Kathy Holden. And so that tucks into the front, and then in the actual bag, I used the front page that was part of this Reader's Digest book, and I just made a tag out of it. So I thought, I love those. It's just so beautiful like that. I couldn't bear not to use it in the book. So this tucks into the bag, and there's so much more room for adding more journal cards or memorabilia or whatever to this sack. And I just rubber stamped the side here with some lavender, with a lavender rubber stamp. This is what happens when I use my pizza pan that has holes in it. And this is another page of the red beet dyed paper. And it was a happy accident. I used my pizza pan and I turned the paper over so you can see some of the little polka dots are dark and some of them are white. I'm gonna get a little closer. I don't know if you can see the finish on that very well, but it's so fun. I just love, I'm not the best paper baker, but I sure do enjoy it, giving it a try. So far, I've used Kool-Aid, coffee, tea, and red beet juice. I haven't gotten any more adventurous than that. This is also from a digital, this here. It's called Antique Parchment Digital Kit, and it is from Things by Larry, L-A-R-Y, on Etsy, but it'll be in the description box. This is a collage page from the Pink Monarch Prints Purple Collage. And this is a fabric flip that I made with Kathy Holden fabrics. I just love Kathy Holden fabrics. And it's the purple stamps. And this is from, I think, Flea Market Fresh Charm Pack. Okay, and then this is a page from the Reader's Digest. I tore all the pages out to make the book, And this is just one of the book pages I put back in. This is the center of the second signature, and as you can see, I made a very long beaded dangle out of it, so that since it's in the very center of the book, it dangles over the outside and down the outside of the book. But this is what it looks like in the center of the book. And then this is just a little bit of decoupage from a napkin that I'll show you here in a minute. And the other side of that lavender collage or purple collage page, my beat dyed paper, little pocket here that has in it a lavender cloud paint sample on that I made into a card, a journaling card with some paper on the back, and this is a Ray Dunn to-do list, a couple sheets of that. It's a handy little notepad that I love to put in my journals too, because it's just so easy to use. This is the other side of that Edith Holden reproduction page with these adorable little squirrels. And the changing seasons, which is fitting. This is a very spring-like journal. And I made this card with some Timmy people. These ladies are sitting amongst the lavender pots, having a nice chat. The Lavender Sisters. Okay, this is in between the second and third signatures. This is a coffee dyed index card with a pretty simple tag from the Purple Collage Kit from Pink Monarch Prints. This is another of my coffee dyed papers, some vintage music. This was from an online free printable, and I printed it out, and it had an odd color to it, so I just sprayed some coffee on it, and it's got some little coffee spots on there. This is the other side of a lavender page from a gardening book. My beat dyed paper, more of the Stamperia. This is a page from a 1940s yearbook, which you know, if you've watched many of my flip throughs, I usually have at least one yearbook page in all of my journals. I just love them. They're so charming, and I love looking at those happy faces. This is another fabric flip that I created from Kathy Holden Fabrics, and then again, I always love to add just a touch of some Liberty of London fabric and a little vintage button there. This is the center of the third signature, some beads there. This is decoupaged. I decoupaged this, it's a glassine bag that I decoupaged with a lavender napkin, and I got that napkin from a new shop, well, new to me. It's called Pacific Sunset on Etsy, and she had a great selection of napkins, and we did a little chatting back and forth, really, really nice shop owner. So I did also decoupage a little tag, coffee dyed tag, to put inside the bag, and there's lots of room for more inside of there. The other side of that charming yearbook page. This is a three-way pocket that I made, well, more than three, but I've got three things in there. I think there's really 1, 2, 3, 4. There's really, this is a 5-way pocket. So you can put lots more in there. This is a simple tag that I just added a little lavender rubber stamp to and some fabric. And here's another of the tags from the Purple Collage Digital Kit and from Louisa's lavender kit. And to give them a coordinated look, I just added the fabric tab to each of them. Okay, I didn't cover this because this is all about how to grow lavender. And I thought that was very appropriate to just leave as it is. Okay, so we're just about to the end here. This is the back page. And I just sewed around a little recipe card that you can use. And then the very back page, there's that lovely digital. And then I just added a note card that you can use as a journal card, or you can send. This was from the Dollar Tree, but I thought it looked very pretty in this back pocket here. And then this is the back cover. And it is like the front cover, except without the embellishments and the embroidery. And then these ties here. And that is it. So I thank you for viewing, and this journal will be available in my Etsy shop later today as soon as I can get all of the photography ready. It will be available, and my Etsy store is Vintage Joys and Jewels on Etsy, and I am actually I have two Etsy shops. The other one is called JellyJarButtons, and I am in the process of combining both of the shops into one really big store, and the buttons are moving into Vintage Joys and Jewels. And then when I get that process completed, I'll be changing the name of my Etsy shop and probably my YouTube channel to all be the same, just to try to streamline everything and focus more on the journals and the journal making supplies and such. So that's that story. The next journal that I'm working on is a Frida Kahlo journal, and boy, is that fun. So much color. I love her. Love her art, love her spirit, just love her. So that's really fun. And that will be the next thing. I am also perhaps going to do a video on the 5-item digital challenge that Rhonda Winstead and Barbara 49 Dragonflies and Louisa Heinzel have been doing. I printed out all of their freebie digitals, and I was going to do some spreads in my personal journal, and I may be sharing those with you as well. Please leave a comment if you've enjoyed this, if you have any suggestions for me or whatever, and do subscribe. Thank you to my subscribers. My little channel is slowly growing, and I very much enjoy sharing my love for these junk journals and my creations with you. So have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Oops.